I think we can stipulate that young people care about this and that there's this through line to the financial crisis in Iraq and all sorts of things. Sean, if the president decides that this is an issue, not just with young people, but with MAGA, what can he do?
Well, first of all, I want to just go back to what Colin said because I think that's important. I looked at the Epstein thing more as a from the victim standpoint. Like I feel that these young women that were victimized deserve some justice, and it's fascinating to hear younger people. And I agree with you. He may not speak for everyone, but I hear the same things when I ask younger people, like, why do you care? And it's that through line about transparency and lying. You have COVID, Iraq, all these things that I think young people look and go, wait, this government continues. I mean, big pharma, all the stuff where we find out that, like, well, you knew about this and you didn't do anything. And it's fascinating how these folks are processing things. And so I think that that was really good because it shows like you can care about the same issue for different reasons. Like I said, a lot of the older folks that I talk about it look at it as a victim issue that these young women deserve justice from the people that perpetrated them. So I was fascinated to hear that because again, I think it's interesting to see why the younger voter cares in a very different way, but yet are equally as passionate. I don't know is to answer your question because the problem is I don't see how you give a little on this. You're either in for what's the saying? You're in for a dime or in for a dollar. Because you can't release some of the names because some people are great. If I know that you're on the list and you put me out, I'm going to out you, and then it becomes an absolute S show. So I don't know. The problem is that I think they're just going to do what they did, which is we're going to say it's stupid to talk about it. We're not going to speak another word and hope. But as I said the other day, I don't know how, if a list exists in Washington, D.C. in particular, that no one can, somebody's going to say it. You saw the clip that I showed yesterday has now gotten almost 2 million views of Alan Dershowitz saying on my show, I've seen it. I know a list exists. Now, whether or not the list that he saw ever made it into the hands of the authorities, I don't know. I didn't ask him that. But the point is, we all know that there are people. Jeffrey Epstein went to jail. Giselle Maxwell went to jail. So for a reason. So there are victims. There are people that, and so that crimes were committed against. And so the question is, in some shape or form, whether it's a list or 5 pieces of paper, I don't know. But I just, at some point, I got to think if it truly does exist, somebody's going to say something.
Dan Halpern's fourth rule of Washington, when something is famous for not being released, it will have to be released.
Yes, I think that's right. I mean, to Sean's point, and I go back to, I mean, it's got all the makings. It's sex, it's powerful people, it's supposed conspiracy. Look, Emma Jo Morris, who we know, who's on the group chat with me, talked about this yesterday as well. She added in the Hunter Biden laptop and COVID and the allegations about Russian interference. And as someone who's, of MAGA and for MAGA, Emma Jo was just like, I'm tired of this sense of being lied to and told not to believe stuff. So I'm surprised at the power that and how resonant this seems to be with a lot of parts of MAGA. But Trump is smart. Trump keeps his ear low to the ground. I have to think he's not going to just try to bulldoze past this.
But Dan, answer the question that Mark asked me, which is, if you if you were asked how would and said, okay, we're getting pummeled on this. How do we respond? I don't have an answer.
Well, they can explain better than they.
Yeah, I mean that's it. So like, if your line is really there is nothing, and it's a lot of people around you that hyped this, then you're going to have to send people. I mean, maybe he fires Pam Bondi. I mean, something where he gives to the gods to say, I hear you, you're frustrated and you're angry. Classic Trump. So am I. It's outrageous that she did this.
Yeah. Okay, but play it out. Yeah. Fires Pam Bondi, which again, Pam is just the messenger as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Then the next person's going to have to. Then Dan, you're next.